Welcome back to the channel. My name's Brian Kingsbury. Today we're going to do another segment of Brian Reads the News. This one coming to us from pleatedjeans.com. The title is 30 Foods and Drinks Invented Entirely by Mistake. This one is written by Nate, published January 4th, 2025. It says here, ever wonder how some of your favorite foods were invented? Well, they kinda weren't. A lot of the foods we know and love today were invented by mistake. When I'm eating something, I assume it was invented by some prolific chef who came up with a brilliant idea that they could sell to the masses, but that's not always the truth. At the time, what could have been a huge bummer turned out to change the world. Now when I make a mistake in the kitchen, remember these people invented something brand new while all I did was forget to cook dinner on high in the microwave. It's amazing to think that some of the best food was invented by mistake. It's safe to say that these are the best mistakes ever made. At number 1 is chocolate chip cookies. A woman by the name of Ruth Wakefield is credited with creating the chocolate chip cookie. Legend has it she originally planned to make a variation on another popular treat called Butter Drop du Pecan Icebox Cookies. This involved melting squares of unsweetened baker's chocolate and adding it to the batter, but the only chocolate she had available was a Nestle semi-sweet bar. She didn't have time to melt it, so she broke it into tiny pieces. It quickly caught on, increasing Nestle's sales. At number 2 is coffee. A goat herder named Caldi is credited with discovering coffee in the 9th century. Caldi noticed his goats becoming so energetic after eating the berries of a tree that wouldn't sleep all night. Caldi told his local monastery, who made a quick drink with the berries. The idea quickly spread throughout the monastery and the world. At number 3 is cheese puffs. A man named Edward Wilson is credited with the invention of cheese puffs in the 1930s. He noticed puff corn oozing from flaking machines. They were originally fed to the animals, which led to experimenting, and they eventually developed it into a snack. The snack was further developed and commercialized in 1946. At number 4 are nachos. If I told you that nacho was the nickname of a person who credited the inventing nachos, would you believe me? Well, you should, because Ignacio El Nacho Anaya, he was working in a kitchen in Piedras Negras, Calua, just over the border from Eagle Pass, Texas. One of their regulars wanted to snack for her table, but asked for something different than usual. Anaya went into the kitchen and noticed fried tortillas, cheese, and jalapeno. He cut the tortillas into triangles, melted the cheese, and topped them with jalapenos. After delivering to the table, the customers asked what it was called. Anaya called it the Nacho Special. At number 5 are potato chips. In Sarasota Springs, New York, a frustrated cook by the name of George Crumb was dealing with unhappy customers who complained about their French fries. They complained the fries were so thick, so like any annoyed cook, Crumb decided to slice the potatoes extra thin, threw them in the fryer, and oversalted them. The customers loved them, and the snack became known as Saratoga chips. The company still exists today. At number 6 is cheese. Cheese, one of the best foods to be invented by mistake. Believe it or not, cheese was not discovered in Wisconsin. According to IFDA, the origins of cheese dates back to more than 4,000 years. Legend has it an Arabian merchant was traveling in the desert heat, storing milk in a sheep's stomach pouch. The heat separated the milk into curds and whey, which was consumed as both a drink and food by the merchant. At number 7 is popsicles. Popsicles were created by 11-year-old Frank Epperson. He was playing with powdered soda mix and water and left his wooden stir in liquid. Forgetting about it overnight, it froze, and like a kid would, he licked it. It was delicious, so he started making more and selling them as epsicles, and eventually in amusement parks. After a while, he patented the product and changed the name to popsicles. At number 8 is Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce was created by request of Governor of Bengal. Based on a recipe brought from Asia, chemists John Wheely Lay and William Perrins were commissioned to make the condiment, but weren't happy with the results. It was stored away, and after revisiting it years later, they tasted the potential in the product. It went on sale in 1837, and the original recipe is still kept secret. At number 9 are chocolate brownies. Who doesn't love chocolate brownies? A woman by the name of Fanny Farmer is said to have accidentally created the sweet treat after adapting her chocolate chip cookie recipe to be made in a pan. Another legend says a chef accidentally added too much chocolate into the dough. Either way, I'm glad it happened. At number 10 is Nutella. An attempt to create a chocolate alternative in the 1940s because of a chocolate shortage due to World War II, an Italian baker named Pietro Ferrero discovered a hazelnut spread we all know as Nutella today. At number 11 is brandy. Brandy was made to fortify wine so it could endure traveling on long journeys. It was stored in wooden casks, which allowed the distilled spirit to improve to become a drink itself. This later evolved into what we know as brandy today. At number 12 is beer. Beer is one of the oldest drinks known to man. The oldest evidence of a drink like beer comes from China as far back as 7000 BC and was brewed with grapes, honey, hawthorns, and rice. Although we have zero evidence as to why it was created, people have theorized that consuming fermented fruits may have led to experimentation and creating this effect on their own. At number 13 are chimichangas. Tucson, Arizona claims the origin of the chimichanga. Southern Arizona was once part of the Mexican state of Sonora, which has its own version of Tex-Mex called Arizona Sonoran cuisine. This style is considered the soul food of Arizona. In 1922, restaurant owner Monica Flynn accidentally dropped a burrito in the deep fryer. Children were present, so instead of swearing, she would swear the word chimichanga, the Spanish equivalent of a thingamajig. At number 14 is pink lemonade. Pink lemonade is a tasty drink we all know and love today, but as it has few interesting and bizarre origin stories, most notably Peter Conklin, who was selling lemonade at the circus. According to the Smithsonian, after running out of water, Conklin grabbed a tub that was used to wring out a performer's tights, which led to the pink hue of the drink. At number 15, we have waffle cones. According to the IFDA, the waffle cone was credited at the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair by Ernest A. Hamwi, a Syrian concessionaire. Hamwi was selling a crisp waffle-like pastry, zalabis, in a booth right next to an ice cream vendor. When the vendor ran out of serving dishes, the waffle-like pastry was used to serve the ice cream. At number 16 is yogurt. Yogurt was accidentally created by herdsmen in Central Asia 8,000 years ago. After storing goat's milk in containers made out of animal stomachs, it curdled and fermented, which added a tart flavor to it. At number 17 is tofu. Nearly 2,000 years ago, a cook in China made mistakenly curdled soy milk. The chemical reaction became one of the greatest cooking mistakes ever made because it credited tofu as we know it. At number 18 is Coca-Cola. According to Business Insider, in 1885, Atlanta banned the sale of alcohol. Pharmacist John Pemberton created a purely coca-based version of the syrup to be mixed with carbonated water and drank as a soda. The result was a perfect beverage for the temperance era, a brain tonic called Coca-Cola. At number 19 are Granny Smith apples. A woman named Maria Ann Smith arrived in Australia with her husband Thomas in 1830. She had a case of crab apples that had gone bad. She dumped them by a creek that ran through her property, and it grew a new type of apple that became the most popular cooking apple used today. At number 20 is the sandwich. The origin of the sandwich may have come from a story about John Montagu, the 4th Earl of Sandwich. It is said that in approximately 1762, he asked for meat to be served between slices of bread to avoid interrupting a gambling game. At number 21 is Tarte Tatin. Legend has it that Hotel Tatin south of Paris is the birthplace of Tarte Tatin. One of the sisters who owned the hotel, Stephanie Tatin, was trying to bake an apple pie but overcooked the apples in butter and sugar by mistake. She served the apple pie anyways, and it was a huge hit. At number 22 are toasted ravioli. It is not certain which restaurant in St. Louis created the toasted ravioli. Similar to chimichangas, someone accidentally deep-fried ravioli, and of course, the people loved it. At number 23 is Hawaiian pizza. A Canadian man named Sam Panopoulos created the Hawaiian pizza. In an interview, Panopoulos said, "We just put it on just for the fun of it. See how it was going to taste." It's a controversial topping for many pizza lovers, but it's clearly caught on. At number 24 is champagne. Contrary to legend and popular belief, Dom Perignon did not invent sparkling wine. In France, the first sparkling champagne was created by mistake. The pressure in the bottle caused bottles to explode or corks to pop. In 1844, Adolphe Jacquesson invented the musselet, that metal twist tie over the cork, to prevent the corks from blowing out. At number 25 is buffalo wings. According to Time, in 1980, Teresa Bellissimo's husband, Frank, told the New Yorker that the wings had been invented out of necessity. The bar had accidentally received a shipment of wings instead of other chicken parts and didn't know what to do with them. However, Bellissimo's son, Dominique, disputed his father's story. At number 26 are cornflakes. Cornflakes were created by Kellogg Brothers in Battle Creek, Michigan. The idea for cornflakes happened by mistake when John Kellogg and Will Keith Kellogg left some cooked wheat to sit while they were distracted with other matters. This was the best mistake they've made, turning the Kellogg brand into a billion-dollar company we know today. At number 27 is the Slurpee. Although 7-Eleven calls the slushie a Slurpee, the product itself was created in the 1950s by a Dairy Queen owner named Omar Kandlik of Kansas City. His soda machine broke down, so he started storing drinks in the freezer to stay cool, but forgot about them. He sold them while still a bit frozen, and the customers started requesting the frozen treat. At number 28 is Nashville Hot Chicken. It's safe to say that the creator of hot chicken is the family of Andre Prince Jeffries, who owns Prince's Hot Chicken Shack. According to Jeffries, her great-uncle Thornton was purportedly a womanizer, and after a particularly late night out with his girlfriend at the time, cooked him a fried chicken breakfast with extra pepper as revenge. Instead, Thornton decided he liked it so much that by the mid-1930s, he and his brothers had created their own recipe and opened the Barbecue Chicken Shack Cafe. At number 29 is blue cheese. The history of blue cheese goes back to the 7th century to a cave outside the village of Roquefort in France. A legend has it that a distracted shepherd forgot his lunch of bread and cheese in the cave. When he returned a few months later, the cheese had become infested with Penicillium roqueforti, a mold that was growing in the cave. Finally, at number 30 is chewing gum. Thomas Adams Sr. was experimenting with a chicle, a sap from a South American tree, as a substitute for rubber. After mounting failures, the dejected inventor popped a piece into his mouth and he liked it. Adams' New York #1 became the first mass-produced chewing gum in the world. So there you have it. That concludes another segment of Brian Reads the News. Again, this one is brought to us by pleatedjeans.com, titled 30 Foods and Drinks Invented Entirely by Mistake. Again, you can go to pleatedjeans.com if you want to check this out in more detail. And if you like this sort of thing, don't forget to like the video. That helps it get in the front of a few more eyes. And if you really like the content, look at that. There I am. You can go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscription button, ring that notification bell, and that way you'll be notified every time a new one of these videos drop. I thank you for watching this video to the very end. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.